So under here, with the theory of Adorno, in terms of popular culture, medyo iba naman sa kanya. It is somewhat unconventional. So he believed that on a para rin siyang communism. He borrowed a certain concept coming from the book of Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx. Remember, according to Karl Marx, the society is divided into two parts. We have the bourgeoisie. When you say bourgeoisie, these are the persons or the people who has the power, the authority, or in other words, sila yung mga may pera. Sila itong mga mayayaman. However, when you say Protestant, sila naman yung mga tao or they are the average person, whereas they are the persons, hindi naman siya masyadong mayaman, masyadong mahirap, but they are considered as the masses or sila mga average person or sila kung sa business, they are the employees. And when you say bureaucracy, they are the we have the employers, proletariat pala, I'm sorry. So when we say masses, they are known as the proletariat. So here for Adorno's triangle, he also considered the society into two parts, and he created a triangle known as the Adorno's triangle. And according here with Adorno's triangle, the triangle illustrates the structure of music industry. So it pertains about music industry. And music industry as well is concerned with popular culture. Remember, music is one of the element or factor of popular culture. Remember, we talk about music. Kadamihan ng music natin came from Western, di ba? Kung ano mang uso sa Amerika, yun din ang uso sa atin. However, when we have certain music created here in the Philippines or also known as OPM, di ba? Original Pinoy music. Kahit man sumikat dito sa Pilipinas, it does not mean that our music will become popular globally. However, sa America, if it became popular in America, it is as well considered that popularity of music is popular to the globe, di ba? So here on the Adorno's triangle, sabi niya dito, the smaller triangle consists of the ruling class. They are known as the bourgeoisie in media terminology. Sabi nga natin, the same with Karl Marx, when you say bourgeoisie, these are the people who are who has the power, who has the money, or yun nga, also known as the ruling class. And these people are also known, yun nga, all are politicians, MPs, and other wealthy people. In other words, people regarded as the social elite in our own society. When you say elite, sabi ko nga ulit, they have the power or sila yung hindi naman sa pinakamatalino kasi when you say elite, minsan they have the ability to think deeper than an average person. So hindi yun. When you say elite here, they have a exclusive privilege, exclusive rights that are not given to the average person. And here on Adorno's triangle, ganito ang explanation niya. The upper triangle, or also known as the bourgeoisie, they are the persons who know what is the true art. Okay, so alam daw nila kung ano ang true art na yan. However, for the masses, they are very dumb or they do not have a good judgment. Okay, ano pa ba? Siguro hindi naman sa bobo or whatsoever, hindi sila ganun katalino. So for Adorno, he explained that if you do not know how to look for true art, for true music, and therefore you are included on the masses. Kasi nga, hindi ka ganun katalino, you are dumb, and what you do is only to follow the trend. Meaning, kung anong uso, yun ang gagawin mo. Di ba? So, you become the proletariat aside from bourgeoisie. You try to look on the ruling class. Di ba? Kadamihan sa kanila, nakikinig sila sa mga classical music. However, for us, for an average person, kung anong trending sa ating internet, sa music industry natin. And we try to listen to them, and we try to be attached on this different music. Like for example, 'di ba noon nagsumikat yung Korean music known as Gangnam Style ata, and then the artist there was Psy, 'di ba? However, sumikat noon, and then yan, many people adopted that music, many people are dancing the music, many people are attached on the music. So umuso noon, and uh, it was adopted by the people. After that one, nawala yung kausuan niya, 'di ba? And here, coming from that one, your own pace is somewhat changing. Changing in the sense that you try to adapt on the music what you think is popular. So therefore, if a certain kind of music is not anymore popular, the meaning of that is you tend to do not follow or listen on that music anymore. However, if you are a bourgeoisie and you know how to look for true art, and thus napapasali ka sa bourgeoisie according to Adorno. Kasi alam mo ang true art. Since you know what is true art, you have the intelligence, di ba? You're not too dumb for you to be influenced by the trend in the social media. Sabi nga natin, yung mga mayayaman, di ba? They're going to operas, di ba? They're listening to the different true art. Like for example, di ba, yung mga Beethoven, di ba? True art talaga yun. Ang hirap niya, mahirap yung mga keys that were created on that one. So it was composed very hard, all of those things. And until such time, like for example, siguro some of you are, sabi niyo sa ibang classmates niyo, they are somewhat old school. Oh, pare, 'di ba hindi na 'yan ang music ngayon? Ang music, kasi like for example, you have a friend, and your friend is listening with old music. Like for example, classical music or classical rock. And coming from that, let us say, ang pinapakinggan niya yung mga 90s na music, 80s na music, and today is 2020 na. And we have a lot of music that are being played on 2020. Like for example, ano ba yung mga artists natin on 2020? We have sila, even me, I do not know, I'm sorry. Siguro sila Maroon 5, yung mga alam ko lang, all of those things. And then one of your friend is critiquing you and saying to you that, why are you listening to those musics? Those musics are old. Old school ka talaga pare. Like for example, like that, diba? But when you try to analyze, it's not about what do you think is really the thing that we need to follow. Kasi nga, these people, according to Adorno, it's not my own words, these people who are only following about the trend are very dumb. Okay? Bobo, in other words, di ba? Kasi nga, ang alam lang nilang gawin ay sundin ang uso. Ay gawin ang mga uso. Kasi, yun ang uso. Okay? So, whatever it is, pangit man yan or maganda yan, maganda pa rin yan. As long as the thing is somewhat popular. However, if it's not popular anymore, yun, they tend to stop listening to this music, or kung fashion man yan, they tend not to use this fashion anymore kasi nga hindi na uso. Kasi nga, they are too dumb that they are being influenced by what is popular. But if you're a bourgeoisie, you know what to look on true art. Alam mo tumingin ng isang masterpiece, and you know how to compare that masterpiece with other pieces. Like for example, you try to compare a certain song. Compare mo na lang song. I do not know if you have heard of this one. Bohemian Rhapsody, composed by Queen, the band of the Queen. And then let us say, humanap tayo ng isang kantang gawa ni Sarah Geronimo, which is known as yung Ikot-Ikot, di ba? And you try to compare about the structure of the two music, di ba? The Bohemian Rhapsody is a very complex. It is really a piece of an art, di ba? Nandiyan na lahat ng genre. Pwede na meron mga parang drama, and then meron siyang isang rock din, parang may slow rock. So madaming genre. What I am telling here is the Bohemian Rhapsody as a music is a very complex music, okay, which is very beautiful, and that is really a true art. You compare with a song na, let us say, hindi ko na, okay, I will not pertain to any more specific song, or a song that is alam mo yung mga music ngayon, yung mas konti na ang lyrics, ang mas madami ay yung bass, di ba? Yung bass. So you try to compare the two music. So therefore, if you are the mass, sa tingin mo, ang uso ngayon, yung malalakas ang bass, yung bug, 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 yung mga yun, yung mga party na music, yun ang sinusundan mo. However, if you know what is true art, you are now the bourgeoisie, which is, yun nga, it makes you intelligent siguro. You know how to judge what is a masterpiece from a piece, di ba? So, yun ang according to Adorno. So, yan daw ang society natin. Minsan, we are too dumb that we are being controlled by the bourgeoisie. Kasi nga, ang alam lang natin gawin ay sundin or pakinggan ang kung ano man ang uso sa ating society. Okay, so next tayo, we have the culture of theory of cultural industry. Okay, when you say industry, it pertains about the use of machine, di ba? Kaya may age of industrialization during the 17th century hanggang 19th century. So industry here pertains on the use of machine or replacing the human labor into a parang factory-made machines, or the products being produced were made by machines. So according here with Levicism, as part of cultural industry, may tinatawag tayong standardization of cultural products. When you say standardization, magkakaparehas yung product na yan. So ibig sabihin, they are not different from each other, but they are identical. Kasi minsan, kahit meron isang product, kung dalawang tao ang gumawa, magkaiba, okay, person A created this product and then person B created this product. Even the same product, the quality of the product may be different from each other. Or kung damit man yan, tailored, di ba? Tailored, we have two tailors, tailor A and then tailor B. And then nagpagawa ka ng suit mo or ng Amerikana mo. And then, pagdating ng Amerikana mo, Amerikana silang dalawa. However, they are different from each other. So, magkaiba yung quality nila. Whether on how the stitches were made or paano to tinahi, gaano to ka-fit, di ba? But however, in the standardization of cultural products, all of the products being produced are the same. Kasi nga, the products produced were made by the machines, di ba? And alam naman natin that in terms of uniformity, machines are very good in creating a product that are the same, di ba? So yan ang tinatawag natin industrialization. And here on industrialization, alam naman natin that there are advantages and disadvantages of the use of the machines. So, unahin mo natin sa advantages, di ba? So, of course, as part of advantages, it will make the work faster. Kasi nga, instead of you paying for a certain person who will make that product, kailangan mo ng mas madaming tao in order to make more products on a minimal time. However, if you have the use of machines, may isang makina ka lang na tumatakbo dyan and it can do all of the works, or one machine can do the works of, let us say, 20 to 100 people. Di ba? So, yan ang isang advantage ng industrialization. Ano pa? As part of industrialization, if you are a businessman, of course, mas lower ang cost ng industrialization. Kasi nga, you will, okay, you're not going to pay salaries or wages to the machines. Pag tao ang mga employees mo, of course, you need to pay them. However, for the machines na kailangan mo lang bayaran, would be the maintenance of the machine. Kung may nasira man na piyesa dyan, kailangang i-replace. So, yan, medyo mas konti ang ating, tawag nito, mas konti ang gastos natin when we have industry. Okay? So, those are the different advantages of industrialization. And disadvantages naman, medyo madami din. Unang-una, it destroys creativity and craftsmanship. So, very simple. Sabi nga natin, you try to use the machine. And the machine will only follow what is being programmed on that machine. Diba? Kung sabi niya, ito lang ang gagawin mo. Okay. Ito lang gagawin mo na sapatos, color white yung, let us say, yung swelas niya. Yun lang ginagawa niya. Diba? And there is no creativity on the machine. Machine is only following the orders of the program. So, walang craftsmanship, no creativity. It destroys creativity because creativity comes from the imagination of the person. At ang machine natin ay walang imagination. Okay, so next here is we have the repetitive loss of quality. Okay, so very simple. I-compare mo ang isang gawa ng machine sa isang handmade na product. Let us say, sapatos yan, di ba? Sa tingin mo, mas matibay, it would be the handmade shoes or factory-made na isang shoes. Di ba? Parang mas classic pakinggan or it is more durable kung if you're going to have a handmade na shoe product, 'di ba? Compared with factory shoe product naman. Kasi nga in terms of industrialization, ang ginagawa lang ng machine natin ay inuulit-ulit niya lang ang paggawa sa isang product. So, madaming kapareho yung product mo na 'yan. And alam naman natin na mas mura talaga magpagawa ng sapatos sa isang factory. Or mas mamurang bumili ng sapatos sa isang factory made compared to handmade. So kasi nagpapagawa lang ng handmade ay yung of course yung medyo yung may mga kaya sa buhay, yung may pera kasi they have the ability to pay. Kasi the labor being given to the shoemakers na mga tao are more expensive compared to factory made kasi nga it is the machine who created that product. And then of course, promoting commercial or low culture. Meaning of niyan, in industrialization kasi, the main purpose of industrialization is, yan nga, businessman ka. Diba? And you need to gain more profit. So for you to gain more profit, whatever the product is as long as may bibigyan ka ng pera, kahit yung alam mo na yung product mo is not really that good enough. As long as maganda ang advertisement mo. Di ba? You try to look on, example nito, you try to look on the China products. Some of which are, hindi naman sa lahat local, di ba? Pero may mga local products pa rin. However, pag in-advertise yan sa isang social media, whether it is a television or Facebook man yan or YouTube man yan, whatsoever yan, kung nabighani tayo, napapabili tayo sa product. And which results to low culture. Kasi nga, we try to buy some products that are not that walang quality. Or minsan, we try to buy some products that we do not need. Di ba? Kasi nga, parang nabighani ka lang sa commercial na yan, whatsoever man yan. 'Di ba? Hindi ko alam, minsan may mga ganun tayong kaibigan, 'di ba? That they're buying products that they do not really need. Pagdating na lang sa bahay, nagugulat sila, saan ko 'to gagamitin? Ang dami kong binili, 'di ba? Okay, so next here is we have naman the theory of Adorno regarding the cultural industry. So for Adorno, he called his theory as the commodity fetishism. When you say fetishism, it pertains on superpower. So commodity superpower. Ibig sabihin, ano ba yung mga bagay-bagay na binibili natin as a product? Or what are the things that are in the market that being bought by the consumers? So as a definition, when you say commodity fetishism, capitalism feeds the masses with products of cultural industry to keep them passively satisfied and politically apathetic. So when you say commodity fetishism here, is that different business establishments or different businessmen are making businesses that they think the people will buy, or that they think what are the things that the people wanted to buy or they needed in order for them, let us say kahit hindi nila kailangan, binibili nila. 'Di ba? Kasi ito ang mga gusto ng mga tao. So let's try to look on examples that are part of cultural industry. Meaning, what are the commodities being produced by the industry that are being bought by the people? In the mere fact that sila ay yan, they are in the mere fact na hindi nila kailangan yung product na yun. And yun nga, they are passively satisfied. When you say passively satisfied, from the word itself, passive, the satisfaction that it gives is not that very high. Kasi nga, sometimes when we try to buy some products, the level of satisfaction that it could give to the person is based on the need of the person. Ibig sabihin, pag mas kailangan ng tao ang isang bagay at binili niya ito, the satisfaction there is higher. Like for example, today is pandemic, 'di ba? And trending ngayon ay online classes. So therefore, pag wala kang cellphone, wala kang laptop, medyo mahirap ka na makapag-connect sa online class. And thus, it makes your situation that you really need a laptop for you to study. Di ba? And coming from that situation, bumili ka ng laptop or bumili ka ng cellphone. Let us say yung laptop mumurahin lang or yung cellphone mumurahin lang. As long as that object will help you on your own need, your level of satisfaction on that object that you have bought is very high compared, let us say, noon. 'Di ba? Compared noon na hindi mo na wala pang online class, hindi mo siya kailangan masyado, 'di ba? Here on commodity fetishism, yung level of satisfaction natin is very low. However, kahit yung very low ang satisfaction natin on buying a certain product, bakit kaya natin siya binibili ng binibili? Yan nga, sabi nga ni Adorno, we are very dumb. Okay? Bobo tayo, in other words. Yan ang ibig sabihin ni Adorno. Kasi nga, we only buy the products because of its popularity. Since it is popular, and therefore, we try to follow what is popular. Di ba? Ano bang popular ngayon? We have the use of TikTok. And if you're going to practice the theory of Adorno or the Adorno's triangle, we are going on what is the trend. Okay? Kahit yung mga video na pinapalabas natin, somewhat half-naked na or minsan may naked pa na sayaw doon, di ba? Sa TikTok na yan, we try to go on what is popular talaga. Kahit nga walang art na nakikita doon. That is according to Adorno, ha? So, that is commodity fetishism. Example niyan, ano ba? Ano ba ang bagay na binibili natin na hindi natin kailangan? Okay, so nowadays, let us say, example natin sa during pandemic. What are the things that we buy considering that we are suffering from pandemic na actually hindi natin kailangan? Remember, yung mga kailangan natin, ang pinaka-importante, may makain tayo araw-araw. Kahit alam na natin that some of us wala ng trabaho, nawalan yung mga parents natin ng trabaho, di ba? So the income is very low or hindi siya ganun kataas compared to nung normal tayo. So ang nangyayari na dyan, ano kayang mga bagay na binibili natin? Let us say, alam mo nang gipit ka, gusto mo pa rin magpaputi. Di ba? Bumibili ka ng glutathione na whatsoever man yan. So, actually, hindi mo talaga kailangan yon during the time of pandemic. Kasi nga ang pinakakailangan mo ay pagkain. So, those now are the false needs. You are now being controlled by what is popular. That is for Adorno. Yan. Popular culture are promoted by advertising, marketing, and media industry. Kaya nga naging popular kasi nga naipalabas yang sa mga social media natin. It were advertised, it was on may mga marketing strategies sila in order for the people to buy the products. So popular culture versus the true art. according to Adorno. If you're only following what is popular, yun ang problema. Bobo ka, in other words, for Adorno. However, if you're not being influenced, you're not being controlled, ang alam mo is on how to look what is true art. You know how to differentiate a masterpiece into a certain creation na parang wala lang. Diba? Yan. Let's continue. Cultural experiences and social relations are objectified and commoditized. Okay? Creation of false needs, predigested, not demanding or difficult. Yan. False needs yung ginagawa natin. Kasi nga, sabi ko nga, what is popular, yun ang kinukuha natin kahit hindi natin yan kailangan. So next, post-capitalism. The meaning here of post-capitalism is, sabi nila, it is to erase capitalism as profit-based society. Meaning, as much as possible sana, even though there is a capitalism, mawala yung profit-based. Kasi nga, when say profit-based, it talks about money. Diba? It talks about gaining more money. Well, of course, in post-capitalism, medyo mahirap talaga yan na gawin. Kasi nga, the very nature of capitalism is in order for you to gain profit. Diba? Post-capitalism are introduced, or post-capitalism was introduced by different philosophers na sana ma-achieve to in the future, which is very difficult siguro, or para pang impossible na mangyari yan, di ba? Kasi nga, alam naman natin that capitalism, the main heart of capitalism is for profit, di ba? Bakit ka nagkakandak ng business mo? Kasi gusto mo magkaroon ng profit, di ba? And that is capitalism. Okay, so capitalist system, ano ba ang capitalist system? May private ownership, tama? May wage labor. These are the salaries given to the employees. The profit-driven competition, di ba? So may competition tayo on the market, which competition gives a very positive for consumers kasi nga sometimes it lower the prices and then it makes the quality of the product better. So magandang competition in terms of consumers. However, pag nasa business part ka, medyo disadvantage yan sa'yo. And then debt-based finance. And then next, number 2, collaborative commons. Ongoing social and technological trends offers the potential for humanity to restructure society and move from a system of scarcity to one global abundance. Meaning of that is, we are being restructured by our technological advancement. We cannot deny naman the fact that our market are more on technological trends, di ba? Kasi nga, yun naman talaga na ang trend ngayon eh. Kasi kung hindi ka pa rin bibili ng technology, talagang malulugi ka sa pamumuhay. Kasi kung noon walang cellphone, tapos ngayon na-invento ang cellphone, everyone now is using cellphone because of its advantages and then convenience that it could give to us, di ba? Empowered and driven by recent technological innovations, a new economic system is now emerging that is significantly better suited for organizing a society characterized by sustainable abundance rather than scarcity. So, post-capitalism, the main goal here of post-capitalism is to make the production cost zero. So, everyone could buy the products in a very cheap price. So, yan ang ibig sabihin niyan. Ang post-capitalism here is, as much as possible, para siyang pareha sa communism. Kasi in communism, everything is created, everything is controlled by the government. And since the government is the one producing the products, as much as possible, mababa lang yung production cost ng product. Kasi nga, remember, the prices of the product depend on the production cost of the product. Or gaako, okay, magkano mo ginawa ang isang bagay? Let us say, nag-aangkat ka na lang ng gulay. Okay, bibilihin mo yung gulay dito sa Baguio, ibebenta mo, let us say, on the lowland areas in Pangasinan or La Union. Let us say, bumili ka ng repolyo here. You bought repolyo for 15 pesos each or 15 pesos per kilo. And when you try to go on Urdaneta or Pangasinan, of course, hindi mo naman ibebenta yung binili mong repolyo at 15 pesos per kilo ng 10 pesos per kilo on Urdaneta. Kasi nga, lugi ka. Di ba? So, ang mangyayari niyan, kailangan mong magpatong. Magpatong ng, let's say, 5 pesos. So, you bought the repolyo or the cabbage for 15, you're going to sell the repolyo now on the lowland area for 20 pesos para meron kang 5 pesos. Kasi yan ang sinasabi ko. The price now of the product is being controlled or it is based from the production cost of the product. So, kung magkano mo siya binili. Ngayon, in post-capitalism, we need to lessen the cost of the production. Meaning, dapat mababa lang daw ang bili mo sa cabbage in order for the consumers to buy the product on a very, hindi naman very, lowest price na pwedeng mabili niya. Kung si government, bibilihin ni government yung cabbage ng 1 peso, ibebenta ni government yung cabbage for 2 pesos para mura siya. So that is now the main goal of post-capitalism. Okay? Post-capitalism is very idealistic. Kasi nga, it is in line of communism pa rin, the society of, the utopian society, all of those things. Okay, so last here is we have interactionism and then globalization. Okay, so when you say pop culture, it's the product of cross-border interaction, globally shared ideas and values, or the first ever culture shared globally. So when you say interactionism here in globalization, we try to interact unconsciously with the use of the social media. And as part of that interaction, we are now globalizing. When you say globalizing, we are now interconnected kahit hindi naman natin alam that we are connected. So, paano ba nangyayari yan? Paano nagkakaroon ng interactionism and globalization? Like, okay, for example, in America, they have their own Hollywood, di ba? May NBA basketball din sila. So, they have those different organization who are producing movies, who are producing basketball videos and so on and so forth. And as they watch those movies from Hollywood and they watch those basketball leagues on NBA naman, we are also watching it. So therefore, pareho ang pinapanood natin. So whatever culture that we are now watching or adopting coming from Hollywood and then NBA, so yung culture natin is somewhat now connected. Kahit hindi natin, okay, even though we are not interacting physically, we are interacting in terms of that social media. That is because of globalization. That is because of the use of technology, the use of innovation, the use of internet. We are now being connected unconsciously. So kung ganyan ang nangyari, minsan, yung culture ng Pilipino and then culture ng Amerikano are now the same. So, when they try to meet physically, hindi na sila mahihirapan mag-adjust. Kasi nga, unknowingly, they're interacting to each other through the use of social media, diba? Through the use of popular culture. They know what is popular in America and that is as well popular in the Philippines. So, ibig sabihin, nag-meet si Amerikano and then Filipino, hindi the culture gap is not that very big. Or minsan pa nga na para pa silang magka-vibes, 'di ba? Kasi nga nag-click yung culture nila. Okay? Because this Filipino is adopting the culture of American. Okay, all of those things. Encourages greater social interaction, 'di ba? However, that social interaction now of globalization is more on virtual and the social media. Okay, example of those are the use of Facebook, 'di ba? And then yung may mga sa internet ata yung mga dating sites like as say yung tawag yun, Omegle, 'di ba? And then we have as well yung Tinder, 'di ba? All of those things. So they are now meeting virtually with the use of social media where they are interacting. Noon kasi ang uso lang na interaction would be yung mga PayPal or telephone calls. However, those are only limited for family, relatives, mga friends mo, or mga kakilala mong mga tao. Of course, kasi hindi mo makuha yung number nila. However, with these different dating sites, social medias, you're knowing strangers or you're knowing unknown people and you're interacting with them because of the social media. Yun nga lang, virtually. However, sometimes that virtual interaction leads to physical interaction. Diba? Madaming mga ganyan. Like, kadamihan nga mga Pilipino, di ba? Noon chat-chat lang, tapos nag-meet sila, nag-asawa na sila ng mga Amerikano or mga foreigners natin. Okay, human interaction is a key social process even in determining individual identities. So yan. So yun nga, as part of interactionism, socialization, talagang it is the nature of man to interact to each other. Kasi pag there is no interaction between the people, walang communication, ano mangyayari sa mundo? Wala, di ba? If they cannot communicate, they cannot help each other. And if there's no teamwork, there's no help, wala, mamamatay ka na lang, mag-isa mo lang dyan. Or there might be chaos, di ba? And then last would be symbolic interactionism. It investigates how shared meanings come to be associated with specific symbols and objects, and how social interaction creates this symbol. Example here of symbolic interactionism are different people who are interacting to each other, and because of that interaction, they created a certain symbol. Kaya siya tinawag na symbolic interactionism. Ang mga tao daw, may isang community who are interacting to each other, and because of that interaction, they have created a certain symbol. It could be a knowledge, it could be language, okay? So whatever it is. Example niyan, let us say, di ba may mga organization, ang tawag, hindi naman organization, parang isang grupo na tinawag nila yung mga Beckies, di ba? Pag bakla ka, okay, mga Becky groups, di ba? And they have that group and they're interacting to each other. And because of that interaction of the gays or mga Beckies na yan, they have created the symbol. And then they have created yung mga, di ba, I do not know if you're aware of this dialect, I mean, that they're using. Hindi rin siya dialect actually eh. Becky Moon, di ba? So ito ay isang language na parang pinauso ng mga Beckies. Kaya siya tinawag as Bekemon. Sa Jejemon, meron ding mga Jejemon, di ba? So those are examples of symbolic interactionism. Meaning, a certain interaction of the people are creating symbols based from that interaction. And yun, ang symbolic interactionism natin.